How you doing today? Do you have a second to answer today's question? It'll just take a second.
Alright.
Are you familiar with what happened with Gerald Belz?
Afraid not.
Oh, my name's Tony, by the way.
Nice to meet you. Hawan.
I'm sorry?
Hawan.
Hawan?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
H-A-W-A-N.
Okay. Where are you from, Hawan?
Originally South Korea.
Oh, really? And how long you been here in the United States?
11 years.
11 years. Okay. What you studying?
Neuroscience.
I'm sorry?
Neuroscience.
Neuroscience. You plan to be a surgeon, research development? What do you think? Some kind of doctor? Wow. Yeah, well, you must be brilliant. Well, come on. I'm never going to be a neurosurgeon. So I think that's wonderful. That's neat. What year are you in?
Freshman actually.
Oh, really? Now, are you from this area or?
Iowa. So,
Oh, where about? I live in Davenport. My daughter's a student here, and I drive her out here.
Dale.
I've heard of it. Where is it? I've only been in Iowa. Oh, okay. I've only been in Iowa a couple of years. I'm from California originally. I'm still trying to get used to this. So, do you have any particular spiritual beliefs, Hawan?
I'm a Christian.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you come to faith in Christ?
I'm 11 years old.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
I needed my sins forgiven. So
Okay. Are you involved in any kind of ministry here on campus?
no. I do have some friends who are involved in salt.
Salt? Yeah, a good friend of mine is a young man named Alex. He's, do you know him? Oh, really? What's that?
I also know Nolan. And
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, I try to get together with Alex, once a week when I come on campus just to hang out for fellowship. And so how do you go about sharing your faith, Hawan?
I go to church and I'm a member of the fellowship there.
Yeah.
We're in Marion, Iowa, so
Okay.
40 minutes from here.
But I mean, as far as sharing the gospel with other people, like other fellow students, how do you go about doing that?
That's a bit more difficult.
Yeah? How come?
Well, because a lot of the views are more liberal, and
Sure.
I guess it's difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to reach out.
Yeah. And when you do get up the nerve to do that, what does that look like? How do you go about doing that? I want to encourage you. So what does that look like?
Well, first I'd want to get to know the person.
Yeah.
Personal relationship. So recently, or not too recently, but one of my friends back in Ohio, and then we were texting. He goes to OSU there
Oh, okay.
in Ohio. So
Oh, well.
we were just friends. And
Not everybody could be a Hawkeye.
That's true.
But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and he recently told me that he believed in Christ too, so I
Uh-huh.
started talking about that too.
So do you think it's necessary to begin with a relationship with someone?
I think that plays an important part in it,
Yeah.
rather than just trying to mass type of thing. Because when people have a personal relationship with you, then
Uh-huh.
it becomes more meaningful.
Yeah.
And they know that you're actually interested, rather than just a shallow type of.
So I asked you if you knew about Gerald Belz.
Never heard
No? Okay. He was a student here, freshman like yourself, pre-med, in fact, and his body was found in the snow just down the hill here.
Oh, I did.
Last
hear
week.
Some accident.
Yeah. So don't know. The authorities don't know. They know there's no foul play. There was no alcohol in the system. It looks like just a tragic accident of a young man out in 50 below temperatures, and he froze to death. So with Gerald, what if you and Gerald knew each other and you took time to develop this relationship with him, and while you're taking time to do that, he dies down the hill in the snow?
Well, I'd have hoped that he was saved.
Sure. And you wouldn't be responsible for where he spends eternity. Okay? God is the one who saves, right? My point in that is that if we wait to communicate the gospel until a time where we feel comfortable, or until such time that we feel like we've taken enough time to develop a relationship,
Might not be soon enough.
it might not be soon enough. Now, again, that wouldn't make you responsible for his soul. That wouldn't make you responsible for his death, okay? Because we can't save anybody. All we can do is be used by God as ambassadors to communicate the gospel of Jesus Christ to people. Unfortunately, with this idea of friendship evangelism, which is a kind of what you're describing, or relationship evangelism, is that a lot of Christians, and maybe not yourself, but a lot of Christians assume that they're going to have tomorrow to share the gospel with their friend. Even,
Not necessarily the case.
right, even when God says that life is a vapor, life is a mist, we're here today and gone tomorrow, and how foolish it is to make grandiose plans for years down the road when you could be called into account this very day. Right? Now, Jesus talked about in a parable about a man who had so much wealth, he decided, I'm going to build more barns to fill all, for all of my stuff. And Jesus said, you fool, this very night you could be called into account. And with this idea of friendship evangelism too, who are the hardest people to share the gospel with?
I guess like the skeptics.
Oh, okay. How about relationally though? Like the people you know, who are the hardest people to share the gospel with in your life?
I guess those that I'm closest with.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. So if we take the time, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with relationships. I think we should try to make friends and love our neighbors as much as we possibly can, okay? But when our idea of communicating the gospel is built on first establishing the relationship, we're actually putting ourselves in a position to never share the gospel, because the people we're closest to are the hardest people to share the gospel with. So we take all this time to build a relationship, and then if we think about sharing the gospel with that person, we hesitate or we won't do it oftentimes because we don't want to do anything to jeopardize the relationship we worked so hard to build. And so the friendship ends up becoming more important than the soul of the friend.
I see what you got.
See that? So again, I'm not saying don't make friends. Yes, absolutely. Love your neighbor as yourself. But build the relationship on the foundation of the gospel and not on the foundation of your personality. Start the relationship with the gospel and continue to love your friend. Continue to build that relationship, because then they know exactly who Hawan is and where he stands, as opposed to building that relationship for months or years and then saying, hey, why don't you come to Salt with me, or why don't you come to church with me? And then your friends may be left thinking, is that why Hawan wants to be my friend? To get me to go to church? Okay, whereas if you start the friendship with the gospel, then your friend knows exactly where you stand, and he knows that you care about him, and he's not just a number at the church. No, does that make sense? I appreciate your time, Juan.
Yep.
All right, hey, God bless you. Very good to meet you. I think Salt's the best group here on campus. Everyone I meet from Salt's like you. Very nice. So, God bless you. Have a great day.